Hi everyone, this is Meera Hussain from Optimal MEP Consultants. We are MEP consultants located in Chennai. We do have branch office in Hyderabad. We do offer MEP consultancy services for various projects such as residential, commercial, hotels, industries, hospitals. All these kind of projects we do offer MEP consultancy services, value engineering, energy audit, and peer review consultancy. The purpose of this presentation is whenever we discuss with end customer, they are under impression that when we follow ISHRE COVID-19 guidelines in all the air handling machines, we will have the COVID-free condition space. That is what all the end customers understanding. So we thought that we will present these ISHRE guidelines and the additional precautions what can be taken along with that to ensure and to improve the indoor air quality. Though the ISHRE has recommended for residential, commercial and healthcare facilities recommendations, here we are going to discuss only the centralized air handling machines recommendations by ISHRE and what are all the additional precautions can be considered. Before we get into the ISHRE guidelines, let us understand the way of spreading, COVID-19 way of spreading. The WHO says that there are many ways to spread this COVID-19, especially when an infected person coughs or sneezes. The nearest person who is healthy also gets infected, and the healthy person, if gets connected physically contacted with the infected person, also he is also gets infected by COVID-19. And this virus, this COVID-19 and so-called coronavirus can stay on the surfaces more than 10 to 14 days based on the substance it lives. And so when the healthy person touches that contaminated spaces, also lead the contamination and the infection to the healthy person. So ISHRE has given the way of spreading, how the particles, and when particle spreading, when it talks, coughs, when we sneeze, the particle counts and the size of the particle and how many particles it moves in the airborne. That is, a chart is given here. If you see, when you talk, it starts from 0.7 micron, and the number of particles it goes up to 100. And when it cough, again it starts from 0.5 to 0.6 micron, and the number of particles it goes more than 1000. And when you sneeze, it starts from 0.5 micron, and the number of particles goes more than a lakh. So these are all the number of particles in terms of sizes and the counts the ISHRE has given this chart. So now the guidelines given by ISHRE for the centralized AHU. Basically they are saying that to add MERV 13 filter in the AHU, and to add UV lamp, which is ultraviolet germicidal irradiation lamp, and the fresh air to be provided, which is 5 CFM per person and 0.06 CFM per square feet. Yes, of course, if it is certified building, the additional 30% of the fresh air to be pumped in. Now, this is the arrangement of UV on the coil surface. This is the chart. The MERV 13, if you see here, the MERV 13 can, the percentage, if you see, it can control 0.3 to 1 micron particles less than 50%, and 1 to 3 micron it is less than 85 percentage, and when it the particle count is more than 3 micron, the efficiency of the filter is going to be more than 90 percentage. So when we provide all this MERV13 UV lamp and fresh air, are we able to control, or are we able to have the COVID free space in the conditioned space? The answer is no. Why? Because if you see the filter efficiency, the 0.3 to 1 micron, the filter efficiency for MERV13 is going to be only less than 50 percentage. The COVID-19, the particle size, if you see, it starts from 80 nanometer to 160 nanometer, which is 0.08 micron, whereas there are possibilities to enter this virus through the MERV13 is possible, because your filter, your particle, the germ particle size is less than 0.3 micron, whereas your MERV13 can handle it cannot handle less than 0.3 micron, where the efficiency also, if you see, it is not greater than 50 percentage. So is it going to help to add only MERV13? No. And UV lamp, again, when we keep the UV lamp on the coil, when we irradiate on the UV lamp on the coil surface, it doesn't mean that the air passes through the UV will get disinfected, and this UV is going to kill all the microorganisms in the air. Because see, whenever we pass the air through the UV, the UV lamp or the air should stay in the UV path at least minimum 6 to 10 minutes, based on the pathogens age and how it can stay in the UV path. Then only this UV can work well, and all the pathogens, all the viruses can be killed. But in our case, across the coil, the phase velocity is going to be approximately 500 feet per minute, which is not even a second the air is going to stay on the UV path. So why this UV lamp is provided? This UV lamp is provided to ensure the irradiation on the coil, so that there won't be any fungus formation on the coil, which helps to improve the indoor air quality, so that there won't be any additional fungus formation, additional germs generation from the coil. So that is the reason this UV is provided. When we provide UV, it doesn't mean that it is going to kill all the microorganisms. And the fresh air is going to help to ventilate the space in a well manner, and this helps to improve the indoor air quality. When we pump additional 30% for the certifications, of course, that is also going to be add-on point. So this is what ISHRAE says, basically, to add all these requirements in the existing or new AHUs to improve the indoor air quality, which can help to reduce the risk factor of COVID-19. So now the additional precaution what we are recommending here is, addition to the ISHRAE guidelines, we recommend to have one more photocatalytic oxidization filter, which is honeycomb e-coated filter, which can be fitted in between the filter and coil. This honeycomb filter, it will be fitted in between the filter and coil, and between this we will locate this UV lamp. So this UV lamp is going to irradiate on the e-filter surface and the coil surface. So when the UV irradiates on the coil, it ensures that the fungus formation on the coil, there is no fungus formation on the coil. And also when it irradiates on the e-filter, it ensures that there is no fungus formation on this filter, and it neutralizes all the microorganisms. When it irradiates on the coil, If you see this flow pattern, when the UV irradiates on the photocatalytic filter, it creates hydroxyl radicals which reacts with all the microorganisms to neutralize. So all the bacteria, pollutants and all the pathogens which passes through this PCO gets neutralized, and the after this filter, the air is going to be harmless gas or harmless water. And the PCO area is designed such a way that the coil surface area, the area of the PCO is going to be more than the coil surface area, so that the maximum amount of air is going to pass through this PCO. So it helps to neutralize the microorganisms. It is not only going to neutralize only the COVID-19 viruses, any type of microorganisms, any type of pathogens, this PCO helps to neutralize, so that we will get the harmless gas. So MERV13, addition to MERV13 UV, and this is the recommendations to add PCO to neutralize the microorganisms, what we recommend here. Plus, addition to this, we also recommend to have thermal scanner in the office entry space, so that the temperature, the higher temperature people can be filtered and can be segregated in the entry itself, so which will not lead any further infection in the conditioned space. So what is the possibilities of implementing all these requirement in the new and existing facility? The new facility, there should not be a problem, because all the requirements can be pre-planned during the design stage itself. In the existing facility, what are all the precautions and what are all the considerations to be done, and whether can it be implemented? So when we add the MERV13 filter, the pressure drop of the filter is going to be 10 mm during the clean stage. So the fan should overcome the pressure drop of this MERV13. So when we take MERV13, the fan power, the additional fan power required is 0.08 watts per CFM. So we should cross check with the motor whether do we have the required motor capacity or do we need to replace the motor. When we replace the motor, we also should cross check the power connections and the cabling design for the existing machine. And also fan should, the motor should overcome the pressure drop of 6 mm which we are adding this honeycomb E filter, so that the power requirement also the 0.04 watts per CFM. So all put together, when you add with the new facility, existing facility, the power, additional power requirement to the motor is going to be 0.12 watts per CFM. And the provision, when we have the existing machine, we have to check the provision to install the UV and the filter section. And honeycomb, the honeycomb E filter section, we can call it as the protection section. So when the existing machine have the combined filter section like pre and back filter, the pre filter and MERV13, we only have to add this honeycomb filter. So in that way we can remove that filter section from the machine. We can add this protection section, and behind that we can add our filter section. But when the existing machine has only the pre-filter, so in that case we may have to check with the manufacturer to remove that filter section. So we have to add the protection and the combined filter section with our new section, which will be connected with the machine. So in this case the cost to these arrangements will be higher than the only the protection section. And when we add all these arrangements, we also have to cross check the space constraint in the AHU rooms and the maintenance space requirements also. For the new facility, a new facility, as I said before, it's easy to add this MERV13 and PCO. Since we are adding this, the power requirement to the machine is going to be 0.12 watts per CFM, and AHU size will be added additional 750 because of this protection section. So in the new facility, there will not be any problem to add all these requirements which can be added. What is the responsibility and conclusions? See, when we say that we are going to add the ISHRAE guidelines and additional recommendations by the consultant, what is the responsibility? Generally, when we have the air conditioning in the space, we have the control. We're doing all these arrangements in the AHU. We will have only control in the airstream. We can say from the filter section to supply air terminal. When we pump the air into the conditioned space, we will not have any control from the supply air terminal to the filter, because it comes to the conditioned space, it gets contaminated with the people who is in, and it goes back to above the false ceiling, and it comes to the AHU room, and it goes to the filter. See, when assume that if there is an infected person inside the office, so there is a virus development, and as I said before, these germs can settle on the surfaces. It gets mixed with the return air, it goes back to the above false ceiling where it can be settled, and it goes back to the AHU room where it can be settled. So when we have all these arrangements, it doesn't mean that we will have COVID free offices. The person who is inside, the infected person who is inside the office, will not have any control on that. So that is the reason we recommended to add thermal scanner in front of the office. And in case if any settlement on the surfaces, that the air handling machine is not going to treat any germs which settles on the surfaces. So it is joint responsibility that the engineering team should take care of the required provision to be done in the air handling machines, adding all these arrangements. And inside the office, the facility team and the housekeeping team should ensure that proper sanitization done inside the office and proper thermal scanning is done there. So all this is the joint responsibility. So it doesn't mean that adding all these filters is going to ensure the COVID free condition in the office. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion, if you ask, are we able to control 100% COVID-19 by doing all above measures? The answer is no. We cannot control. But certainly it improves indoor air quality and it helps to reduce the risk factor of COVID-19. When we do all these measures and joint responsibility, as I said before, when we take care of proper housekeeping, proper thermal scanning, proper filtration, when we do all these things, the risk factor in the conditioned space is going to be very, very less. So it doesn't mean that when we follow ISHRAE guidelines is going to give the COVID free offices. Of course, it ensures that risk free, the risk factor of the COVID-19 is going to be less. So apart from that, we have the individual responsibility also. As our government says, when you are unwell, stay at home, avoid touching your face and nose and mouth, stay 1.5 meter away from people who are coughing or sneezing, cover cough and sneezes, wash your hands very frequently. And also, whenever we are there in the conditioned space, the facility team should ensure that all the people should wear the safety masks, and they should ensure that the people should cough and sneeze, they should cover their nose and cough and sneeze. So all these should ensure the facility team, and as an individual also we should take all this responsibility to ensure we away from COVID-19. So this is what we would like to discuss, and we would like to address to the industry and to our end customers to understand the ISHRAE guidelines and the additional precautions what can be added along with that. And if any suggestions, any questions, please write back to us to this given email ID hussain@optimalmep.com. And if any corrections, if anything to be added in the presentation, or if anything to be corrected also, can be written to this email ID which can be corrected. So thank you once again. Stay safe. Thank you so much.